Joe Biden is back in the 2024 race and he will be challenging Kamala at the 2024 DNC convention. You guys have got to check this out.
For weeks, for years actually, continued to say that he will not drop out, that he is going to run and beat Donald Trump. And nothing on earth can get him to drop out. Not Obama, not Pelosi, not the Clintons, not the donors. No one's going to stop him. This is something that Joe Biden said regularly and on the record. He's the old horse. And while the corporate press continue to try and force him to drink, right? Drink the milkshake, like get out of the race, Joe Biden continues to say things like this.
Post just reported in the last hour.
This was like a month
Senator
ago,
Mark Warner
by the way.
is assembling a group of senators together to try and convince you to stand down because they don't think you can win.
Well, Mark is a good man. We've never had that. He also tried to get the nomination too. Mark and I have a different perspective. I respect him.
And if Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries and Nancy Pelosi come down and say, we're worried that if you stay in the race, we're going to lose the House and the Senate, how will you respond?
I go into detail with them. I've spoken to all of them in detail, including Jim Clyburn. Every one of them. They all said I should stay in the race. Stay in the race. None of the people said I should leave.
But if they do?
Well, it's like...
Listen to this. So George Stephanopoulos, he goes through all of the most powerful people in the Democrat Party. And Joe Biden says, those people don't matter to me. What they say don't matter to me, and I'm staying in the race. And then this happens.
They're not going to do that.
You sure?
Well, yeah, I'm sure. Look, I mean, if the Lord Almighty came down and said, Joe, get out of the race, I'd get out of the race. The Lord Almighty's not coming down.
I don't really hold a lot of respect for Joe Biden, but what I do have to say on his behalf, what they did to him is so undemocratic. I don't know how it's being allowed. Because like it or not, Joe Biden got millions of votes in the Democratic primaries. The elites at the DNC say, you know what, we don't really want Biden. Let's just take him out and throw in Kamala. Are you kidding me? We're going against the wishes of millions of Americans, but it just seems like they don't care because Kamala has a better chance at winning in their minds. What they're doing to him is third world country, banana republic garbage. So I do not blame Joe Biden wanting to stay in this race and stick it to these people.
Belief that the Lord is coming back. And it's a very strange thing to say that the Lord couldn't get you to move. But nonetheless, this is what Joe Biden said, blasphemous as it is. So let's just take him at his word. Joe Biden said, God himself couldn't get me to move. Like echoing kind of echoing the words of the captain of the Titanic. God himself could not get me out of the race. This is what Joe Biden's official stance was a month ago. Baby. Articles all over the place, behind the curtain, Joe Biden's salvation plan. Joe Biden has zero interest in stepping aside. When was this published? What's the date on this? July 1st. This was 1 month ago. July 1st. Biden has zero interest in stepping aside. First Lady Jill Biden and key family members and friends agree, according to people they regularly talk with, Joe Biden will not drop out of the race. Everyone said, Jill loves too much being president. Look at Jill, literally sitting at Joe Biden's desk with the presidential seal on it and the jacket that says Biden. We were living out Joe Biden's total delusion.
Truthfully, I don't think that Joe Biden is cognitively all there. I always thought he was a puppet during this entire presidential regime. Do I think he became lucid all of a sudden and now he wants power again? No. I think it's his wife pulling the strings, and she just does not want to relinquish this power, this fame, this notoriety that she has had for the past 4 years. If like it or not, the Biden family is just directly associated with crime, and they must know deep in their hearts if they leave the White House, they are at the mercy of the Justice Department, and I think that terrifies them.
A while away, saying that Joe Biden doesn't get that choice, okay, and that the powers that be will force them out eventually. But nonetheless, Joe Biden stayed in the race. Joe Biden stayed in the race. Joe Biden tweeted, "I'm staying in the race. I'm the candidate. I will beat Donald Trump," is what Joe Biden said. Joe Biden posted that 24 hours before dropping out. What happened, ladies and gentlemen? Many people here, of course, saying that Joe Biden was going to stay in the race, that all the forces and all the powers around Joe Biden were forcing him to stay in the race. Remember, even after the debate, Jill Biden said, "We're so proud of you. You answered every question."
You did such a great job. You answered every question. You knew all the... And let me
This
ask
is the
the
presidential
crowd,
nominee.
what did Trump do?
Look at that image.
You can't make
The
this up.
lasting image of the decaying Biden dynasty, right? It's like your psychotic Chardonnay, Xanaxed up, pill popping wife. Joe Biden lobotomized in the back. I wanted Joe Biden in the race. But boy, the long knives were out. You can go back and look at these old Kamala Harris clips and see what was happening there. Kamala Harris saying that Joe Biden's alive. And that should count for something.
Not able to run, that there would be a free-for-all for who would run as president.
This interview is from like last year, by the way.
Because Joe Biden is very much alive and running for re-election.
Joe Biden's very much alive.
Does it bother anyone else that that woman, Kamala Harris, always has a smile on her face, and it's just the fakest smile you ever see, just an empty smile? But I guess that's just a perfect epitaph for who she is as a person, because she's just an empty vessel. She actually stands for nothing. It seems like they have just lost their soul in the pursuance of power.
This is a wild news cycle. And we live in wild times. And I got to tell you, while I thought I'd seen everything, hadn't seen nothing yet. Joe Biden did drop out, and I post on X. Did Joe Biden actually drop out? I mean, his signature doesn't match. Did Joe Biden know that he dropped out? Well, his signature doesn't match on his dropout letter. It's pretty much obvious that it's a forged signature. There's never another example of Joe Biden underlining his signature. And this pithy little letter that's posted up here, Joe Biden gave no comments on it, no video remarks, just posted the letter to X. Would you look at that? Most viral thing Joe Biden ever did, by the way.
In a world that is so digitally altered, how on earth can we allow a presidential candidate to drop out just by sending a tweet? I feel like a live press conference is the only answer, because in the world of AI nowadays, anything can be altered, anything can be faked. And when they played Joe Biden's phone call, somebody actually checked it out, and it said a 97% likelihood that AI was used in the making of that video. My question is, why are we allowing these shadow people in the government to have such power? Just take presidential nominees out of the running just because they don't like him. I think they decided he's gone, send out a tweet on his behalf. He can't do anything about it. I think that's what happens.
Donald Trump saying, what are the chances that crooked Joe Biden, the worst president in history in the U.S., whose presidency was unconstitutionally stolen by him by Kamala, Barack Hussein Obama, Nancy Pelosi, Shifty Adam Schiff, and crying Chuck Schumer, and the other lunatic left, crashes the Democrat National Convention and tries to take back the nomination, beginning with challenging me to another debate. He feels he has a historically tragic mistake by handing over the U.S. presidency, a coup, to people that he hates most in the world, and he wants it back now. Donald Trump suggesting that Joe Biden is coming back to the race. Now, again, and we have so much evidence of this, Joe Biden didn't want to leave the race. Joe Biden said that God himself, Lord have mercy, could not get him to drop out of the race. What does that mean? Joe Biden posted on X just hours before dropping out that he wasn't going to drop out. What does it mean? I mean, I think it means somebody hacked his X account and wrote the letter, forged the signature, and posted it and said, sorry, it's already done. You have no say here. You have no choice. It's crazy.
What I think should happen for the Democratic Party is they should hold a convention, a bunch of Democratic nominees there, state their case, and then they vote on who becomes the nominee. This should not just be take out Joe Biden, throw in Kamala. We will put the entire power of the press behind her, and then we will just fool all these Americans into believing that she is polling better than Donald Trump, because I don't believe that for a split second. It's plain and simple. The reason the news is free is because they want to shape your mind. They want to deceive you and propagate these lies. And that's exactly what they do on a day in, day out basis. And that's why you have millions of Americans who hate Donald Trump with a passion, yet they cannot use one sentence and explain why they actually hate him. They might have a few buzzwords like a xenophobe, racist, whatever, but they don't actually know what it means. They can't give examples. But this is crazy. I don't know what's going to end up happening with the DNC, but one thing is for sure, it's going to be fireworks. Let me know your thoughts on this down below. You think Joe Biden will be coming back into this race? Well, let me know down below. I'd love to hear that. And if you enjoyed, make sure to smash that like, comment, subscribe, and wish you guys nothing but the best. Till next time.